Hey guys, Tarke here, and I thought I'd record a quick Syndicate farming guide for I got ready for Bay class. If you're wondering what Tarke looks like in the morning, this is it. I did some of this yesterday on stream, and you can see I did a few fossils and whatever. I managed to run, I believe it was 3 safe houses in about 3 or so hours. And for context, before that, I'd done 3 safe houses all the way to 93. So, what do? You go back to the good old Quarry. Some people love this, some people hate this. I go through moments of mildly enjoying it, mildly hating it. But the core idea is you go to the waypoint and you run in circles. If you want to, you can also use it as a way of collecting sulfite. You can use it as a way of getting very fast temples per hour. But I've been mostly ignoring that and just kind of running in circles, killing mobs every now and again to refresh my flask, because I'm not a Psalm or a Pathfinder, to keep my Queen of the Forest stuff going active. And the spawns for Masters always spawn in like a square around the waypoint. So you just run a clean loop all the way around. Anyone who played Delve will know what it is, but here you go. Here's the gym. Now there's actually a few like steps that you need to do. You can't just run this right away. So when you get Jun encountered, there'll be 3 events. So there'll be the research, there'll be an intervention, and then there'll be either a transportation and a fort. If you run the research first, you can stop the other 2 events from spawning. The intervention will always spawn when you're fighting a rare or unique. So what I do is, and you can see in my last video I had 18% safe house, I'm now 57, so proof that I have actually been getting a lot of like rep doing this. And I haven't been fully min-maxed. If you're on like a full zoom character, you could, I think this is definitely the fastest way to get masterminds. So if you want that Devouring Diadem really desperately or whatever, you could make a lot of money doing this in a trade league, I would imagine, but anyway. So to get the intervention to spawn, if you stand near a rare enemy, like literally I'll find a rare and I'll just stop like attacking for 5 seconds, and then you just say loudly to yourself, it would be a real shame if someone intervened right now, and they'll spawn. They seem to like prioritize spawning when you're near a rare or a boss, so just to make sure that it spawns nice and clean, nice and quickly, just find a rare, just like stand next to it for a few seconds, and then it'll hop in. So because I found the intervention, I'm now just running around looking to see where the fort is, and they're usually either in this bottom left corner or the top right corner, which is why I hard checked it, and you can see here it is. So there'll either be a transportation, which could spawn anywhere, or if there's a fort, they'll generally be in one of 2 spawn points, either bottom left or top right. And the main reason why I'm doing this is I'm looking for, obviously, Mastermind XP, but I'm actually trying to also get a bunch of Syndicate crafts unlocked, and the Syndicate crafts unlocking is really important. Now this is another thing. When you get a safe house, you need to run the safe house right away. So you know how I said that if you run the research first, it can stop the other events from spawning? If I don't run the safe house right now, it will stop the other events from spawning, and it's really silly how it works. It's all really dumb. So it's kind of like, if you want to do it, you need to do it, and then you need to make sure that you're ticking the boxes while you're doing it. And whether or not you think it's good that the best way of doing this is Quarry, I definitely have my opinions on that. The fact that you have to play the stupid little mini game is definitely not something that I'm a fan of. So anyway, you go through it, you just go boom, boom, boom. And the thing which is kind of nice about this is that there's not really anything which rewards doing high-level Syndicate, so you're not punished at all for doing it in a super low environment. I also don't have any like sounds playing, so if any mirrors or anything dropped in the background, you're like, well, Tarke, you missed an exalt. Yeah, I don't know, I can't hear anything. I haven't got my headset on. So if you want to farm Scarabs for Nico, if you want to farm Mastermind for Devouring Diadem, any of that stuff, there's nothing wrong with farming it in Act 9, rather than farming it in maps. The only thing that you're missing out on is when you unveil items. I can show you this now. I can't, because you can't filter in here. The XP you get on the unveil is based on the eye level. So a level 89, I don't have anything worth crafting. A level 89 would be worth a lot more than randomized numeric values of a random modifier. It's basically a divine. Well, my queen sucks dick. So 226, 225. Okay, well. Right. 225, 223. The rewards are there, Kappa. So now that I've done that, I can now run back and I can now go run the research. But yeah, so if you are desperately looking for certain crafts, the reason why I'm doing this is I want to play a self-cast Detonate Dead Volatile Dead style character, not using Poet's Pen or anything. And so, obviously, as a ethical self-cast player, the first thing I need to make my build work is trigger a socketed spell when you cast a spell, so I can automate my Desecrates. Technically still handcast, but yeah, that's basically what I'm looking for. Now, why I'm checking all of them, I'm trying to build as many rivalries as possible. You can see I've built a few up now. The more rivalries there are, it means that when an event spawns, if 3 people hate each other, there's a chance they'll all come in to mess each other up. So by getting as many things as possible, feels good, man. I'm also trying not to imprison too much. If you're just trying to farm Mastermind really quickly, you want to spam Imprison for research, because I'm mostly doing it for the Unveil unlocks. I want to keep people on my board. So yeah, I've managed to unlock, in a couple of hours of doing this on a not very well optimized character, more safe houses than I had for the previous like 6 days of the league, since I've had 4 safe houses doing this. I've unlocked way more crafts than anything else. I've had nearly everything proc except for the one thing I want, which is the trigger socketed skills thing. The one thing which is mildly worrying is I think I can hit everything outside of maps. Like, I've hit +1 curse chest outside of maps. And some people in my private league have said that they've had the trigger socketed spell in Act 9, but until I've had it, I don't know if it spawns. So that's just really scary. But anyway, I just thought I'd record this just because this will be a handy guide for some of you. And also, quick reminder, there will be a Bay class happening over on my Twitch channel in the next 5.5 hours from now. Pre-stream will start up. And yeah, you just keep going like this. And the Jun spawns, sometimes you get really lucky, sometimes you get it every 2 seconds, and it's like every other run you get it. Sometimes you get unlucky and you can go like 10-15 runs without it. What I'll do is I'll quickly just do another set of runs until it procs again, just so you know that it can proc. And other things which are worth noting about this, which are pretty good, is essences. You get a lot of essences doing this. As I said, you can use it autos to get Alva and Nico, so I'll be mostly ignoring those. And it's actually really good for restocking on sack fragments. So if you're an SSF player and you can't just buy sack frags very easily, this is a really good way. What's that up there? This is a really flame dash. A really good way of stacking up on sack frags, because again, all of the Vaal zones, they spawn in this grid around it. So that's actually like really solid for the SSF players out there. And yeah, that's really all I have to say now. But I'm just going to keep on running so you can see if the RNG are as good or bad to me. I guess I can cover the Bay class topics while we wait. So the main topics that I want to hit for the Bay class. I want to talk about, obviously, synthesis. One thing that I want to do, which I think is quite important, and I want everyone on the show to do it. So if we don't do it, you can be like, but Tarke, you said they'd do it. I want everyone to say one thing that they like about the league, one thing they hate about the league, and one thing which is like, they think it could be good with just a little bit of tweak. People sometimes give us a bit of heat for being either too negative or too positive. So if we open up our discussion with all kind of like, this is something we think works, this is something which we think doesn't work, this is something which could work, then there's a little bit of everything. But yeah, we're going into full synthesis discussion. Octavian's been doing a lot of crafting stuff, so there's going to be a whole discussion on that. Also, if you haven't seen it, Ziggy just put out a really good video showing how you can like force certain crafts to spawn. We're going to be talking about quite a lot of racing stuff, since, Method is kind of a thing that happened to Noogie. So Noogie getting signed with Method. Obviously, Rise has been racing in SSF, and that'll just become like a little short discussion. We'll be talking all about the hand casting rework, how we feel about the new skills. Obviously, I played a lot of Soul Rend. Octavian's played a lot of Divine Ire and Stormburst. It's currently having an Ice Trap character. Noogie's been like racing Supreme stuff, so he hasn't messed around with it as much as I think. And then Rise has been playing some Bane. So we've all kind of like messed around with it. What skills were disappointing, what skills felt great, how successful we feel like the hand casting reworks have been, with like the whole new skill tree and all of that stuff. And then wrapping up with some talk about the implementation of past leagues, having to do stuff like a quarry farming, and then finishing up with some nice XRCon talk, because XRCon is kind of a cool thing that's happening. And I really want a cup of tea and a shower, and I'm just going to keep doing this until Jin spawns. Because I think it's important that when you show off, like, hey guys, suck it here, this is my run, you show how bad the RNG can be sometimes, and sometimes the RNG can be really miserable. I think the longest, like, dead streak I had was on stream yesterday. It went for about 10 minutes of resetting, which... It sounds like riveting. This thing is, there's actually some people who really enjoy this kind of content. It reminds me a lot of anyone who played Burning Crusade, farming the eggs to get Neverwing reps. So this is an Alba. I've been skipping them, but yeah, you could run those. You had to farm eggs to get reputation to unlock the Nether Drakes, and there was a mine. There was an island that had a mine, and there were like a few spawn points, and you would literally just run in circles. And it's like, has an egg spawned? Because if you collected the egg, you could trade it in for reputation. And you would just spend days just camping these spawn points, doing little loops. And because of that, I'm kind of... Basically, WoW has like conditioned me to be nostalgic for stuff like that. So I can enjoy and appreciate this kind of gameplay for a couple of hours every now and again. It's like, I couldn't do this every day. If I did this every day, then I'd be like burnt out of PoE in like a weekend. But I could do this for like a few hours once or twice a week, and it would be kind of like, oh, that was nostalgic. In WoW, I also played a hunter during Wrath when they released all the spirit beasts. So I was that guy who like tamed all the spirit beasts. So the idea of running in circles, hoping that something will have. I also got a Time Lost Proto Drake during Wrath. Basically, I don't value my time. So there's a lot of people who are kind of like, oh yeah, I remember that, that sounds fun. And I imagine there's a lot of you going, Tarke, this is genuinely the worst thing I've ever seen. I would never do this. What the fuck? But yeah. Hashtag feels like Delve, feels like Incursion. I kind of don't want them to patch this though. In the past, this was the best way of doing Nico grinding, and then they patched it. Okay, so we got another Jun. So this is a 12-minute video, and we had 2 Juns spawn, so I can't enter that. And I had to run the map, so let's see if we can find a rare. There we go. Fight these boys. And I realised I should have vended, but it's okay. And one thing which is a bit annoying is I wish that there was always, like, they always dropped at least one veiled item, because it really sucks when they don't. Especially if you're doing, like, when you're doing this specifically just for the veiled items, and then the veiled items don't spawn, it's like, ugh. So as I said, this is the other fort spawn that you can get, so either top right, bottom left. There's probably another, but these are the only ones I've noticed. Plus one rank Janus. Take out the prison. Go there. Pick up a ring. And now we just beeline all the way back down. And yeah, that's kind of that. I guess the good thing about this is you can do it on any build. I was skipping the memory frags. Just because I was trying to do this as quickly as possible. If you wanted to just make money with it, I don't know if it would be profitable to just run everything and then sell everything. Apparently, Syndicate crafts are selling for quite a lot in the trade leagues because people need to unlock their benches. So I imagine you could probably make quite a lot of money just doing this just to farm the Mastermind, as I said, and all of that shenanigans. Let's rank him up to 3. I don't want to remove anyone, and I don't want to remove any rivalries, so I'm just going to interrogate her. And we got a foil. See if we unlocked anything good. Did we get anything good? That's not the thing. We got... We got killed. I was just I'm just gonna get that. Nah. No, I'm just gonna... So yeah, I'm Tarke. Riveting gameplay, by the way. See you all on Baycast. Have a good day. Bye bye.